Hello and welcome to Phrases for Travel Spanish. My name is Alicia and I am really glad that you want to learn a new language. We'll begin with an introduction. The objective of this tutorial is for you to know the basic vocabulary to communicate on a trip to any Spanish-speaking country. We will not learn here systematically how to pronounce. Simply pay attention to the sounds and try to pronounce them as you perceive them. And we begin with the basics. Español básico. Los números 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And pay attention because I pronounced 0, 5, 10. And I make this lisp because I come from Madrid. And in Spain, generally, we use the lisp when we say these numbers, for instance. But if you travel to any Spanish-speaking country in Latin America, you will notice that people there, they do not lisp, okay? So they would pronounce 0, 5, 10. And this is also correct. If you like the lisp, you can lisp. If you do not like it, you do not have to lisp, and it's all right. Okay? Well, and pay attention that I pronounced nueve, and this is the way we pronounce generally in Spanish. Nueve. Okay? Next numbers. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay? And 20, 21. 30, 32. So from 21 to 29 you write everything in one word, but after 30 you will separate 32, which is why you say 40, 43. Then you have 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay? And now that you know los números, we are going to learn the greetings. Hola, ¿qué tal? Hola is like hi, hello, is informal but polite. And the reaction is hola, bien, gracias. ¿Qué tal? And it goes on, but just pay attention that we have the question mark at the end and at the beginning of the sentence. And the same thing happens with the exclamation mark in Spanish. So let's repeat this conversation. Hola, ¿qué tal? Hola, bien, gracias. ¿Qué tal? Muy bien, gracias. Hasta luego. Adiós. You can say goodbye, hasta luego, but it's a little long, which is why you can use adiós instead. Adios is a little formal, so if you do not like adios, you can use chao. Hola, chao, which is short and informal. Okay? Well, so let's learn sí, no, por favor. And we also learn perdón, no pasa nada. Gracias, de nada. And after each section, you will find in the material some activities, because I know it's a lot of information, and the best way of learning new information is practicing. So you have the material that you can download, and everything is included, the exercises and the answers too. And you have extra material to keep on practicing if you want to. And now, yo soy. Okay, we're going to introduce ourselves. Las personas, singular. We are only going to learn the singular, okay? It's sufficient for us. Yo is the first person singular, so the corresponding pronoun in English is I. And in Spanish, we have the second person singular, which is tú. Tú is informal, and in English, it will be translated as you. But in Spanish, we have also usted, which is the third person singular and is formal. But in English, we would translate it as you as well. So in Spanish, please notice that we have the difference between tú, which is informal, and usted, which is formal. It depends on the situation and the country that you're in. What should you choose? Tú, usted, it depends, okay? But generally, you will use tú with people that you know well, your friends, family. And with people that you do not know well, people that are older or that represent a kind of authority, you would use usted, okay? So usted is formal, and you can use it when you talk to a man or you talk to a woman. It doesn't matter. So, in Spanish, you have tú, informal, usted, formal. And if you do not know which one should you choose, you just ask the person tú o usted. And with this question, tú o usted, the person will react tú. Normally, the person will say, no, let's keep things casual, tú, okay? But the person may answer usted. It's okay, not so common, but it can happen, okay? So usted is, well, a lot of social distancing. Tú is a closer relationship with people that you know well, okay? Generally speaking. And you may see usted shortened to ud. Well, after this, we are going to learn el verbo ser, to be. You have, for the person yo, the verb soy. Okay, so I am in English, and in Spanish, yo soy. If you want to say I am not, then you just have to add no and place it right before the verb, in this case, soy. Okay? Yo soy, I am. Yo no soy, I am not. And if you want to use tú, the corresponding verb will be eres, which also can be used in the negative form. So you say tú no eres. Usted es. Usted no es. Okay? So we're going to use all of this information, don't worry. And you can say yo soy, I am, but you can shorten it, soy, okay? Because the pronouns yo y tú that you see here, they can be omitted. You do not have to say them if you do not want to. And native speakers tend to leave these pronouns behind. Okay, we do not use them because we don't need them. You can use them if you want to, but you do not need to use them. Okay? Usted is more commonly used because when you say usted, you are showing more respect. Okay, but you can omit it too if you want to. So let's learn a new list of words. El nombre, el señor, la señora, ser, llamarse, mucho gusto, igualmente. So let's see everything in conversations. You can say yo soy. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, you just say yo soy. Or you can also say yo me llamo. And well, if you want to see it literally, you say in Spanish, I am called. In English, you don't say it like that, but it's the literal translation. Another possibility is to say mi nombre es, and then you add your name, nombre. So introducing yourself is quite easy, as you see. You can ask, ¿cómo te llamas? Informal. ¿Cómo se llama usted? Formal. Informal. Let's see a complete conversation. Yo soy. ¿Cómo te llamas? Yo me llamo. Mucho gusto. Igualmente. And if you want to have a formal conversation, you have to make some changes. Yo soy. ¿Cómo se llama usted? Yo me llamo. Mucho gusto. And igualmente. Okay? You can practice, take your time, and when you're ready, we can learn the places because, well, you're traveling, you're going places. So let's learn a little bit about this. ¿De dónde? La ciudad. El país. Vivir. ¿En dónde? So you have this verb and this preposition, and you have the question de dónde. So you ask the origin of something from someone, something, whatever. De dónde? We are talking about people now, so you ask de dónde to someone, asking where does this person come from. So informally you would say yo soy de ciudad, país. ¿De dónde eres? Yo soy de ciudad, país. And if you are using usted, then you change it. Yo soy de ciudad, país. ¿De dónde es usted? Yo soy de ciudad, país. An example. Yo soy de Bogotá, Colombia. ¿De dónde eres? ¿De dónde es usted? And here you can say only Bogotá or maybe only Colombia. You may want to say Colombia and then Bogotá, whatever you like, okay? Any combination is possible. Vivir is another verb, will be combined with en, and we will ask ¿dónde? If you want to ask where does someone live. So you will have the following dialogue. Yo vivo en ciudad, país. ¿Dónde vives? Yo vivo en ciudad, país. And very similar. Yo vivo en ciudad, país. ¿Dónde vive usted? Yo vivo en ciudad, país. Okay? Let's see the example here. Yo vivo en Caracas, Venezuela. ¿Dónde vives? ¿Dónde vive usted? And this is everything you need to know. So here you have the exercises. And now let's talk about the communication. No comprendo. No comprendo. No entiendo. The same thing, okay? And you also have ¿qué significa? Más despacio, por favor. El verbo hablar, singular. So one more verb, very useful. So for yo, the verb will be hablo. And if you want to say that you do not speak, I do not speak in Spanish is yo no hablo. And tú hablas. Tú no hablas. Usted habla. Usted no habla. Okay? Well, so the question is, ¿hablas inglés? ¿Habla usted inglés? Yo no hablo español. Yo hablo un poquito de español. And some exercises for you. And last but not least, frases para viajar. Yo no tengo. So in Spanish, if you say I do have, you say yo tengo. You add no if you say that you do not have. Yo tengo, yo no tengo. Okay, so as you know, the next verbs will be yo no necesito, yo no puedo, yo no quiero, yo no quería. You can use quiero in Spanish if you're ordering something at a restaurant, for instance. You can, but it's not very polite. Okay, so you can use it and you will get what you want. But it's preferable to use quería instead of quiero if you want someone to give you something. Okay, so to be polite, it's better to use quería when you're ordering something or asking for something. So you have el hambre, el sueño, el dinero, el baño, el médico, el hospital, la policía, la ayuda, socorro, necesitar. So let's see everything in our communication. Tengo hambre. Tengo sueño. Tengo sueño means that you're tired and you want to sleep. No tengo dinero. You do not have money, so you say no tengo dinero. In case you do have money, you say tengo dinero, as you well imagine. And you can also ask ¿dónde está el baño? Necesito un médico. You can also say necesito un doctor. Necesito ir al hospital. Necesito ayuda. Ayuda. Socorro. Policía. Me han robado. And some new words. Aceptar. Cambiar. Pagar. Cambiar, pagar. La tarjeta. La tarjeta de crédito. Pagar en metálico. El cajero automático. El ticket. Okay, very important. Pagar, because pegar is to hit someone. Okay, so don't hit people. Use pagar. Pagar is okay. And after seeing this, ¿dónde puedo cambiar dinero? ¿Aceptan tarjeta de crédito? ¿Aceptan dólares? ¿Dónde hay un cajero automático? ¿Puedo pagar en metálico? ¿Puedo pagar con tarjeta? Aquí tiene. Esto es todo. No necesito el ticket. In case you do need the receipt, you say necesito el ticket. And some new words. El hotel, la reserva, la habitación, la noche, el desayuno, el baño privado, comer, beber, tomar. La alergia, la cuenta. So you have comer, to eat, beber, to drink, and if you say tomar, you mean both. So it means to have something to eat or to drink, and also to have medicine, for instance, to take medicine, and also to have something to grab, something to take with your hands. Okay, so it's a verb that's really useful. All right, well, now let's practice. No tengo una reserva. Necesito una habitación doble para 3 noches. No quiero desayuno. No quiero un baño privado. As I told you, you can say quiero, but, well, it's better to say quería, okay, if you're asking for a favor. Even if you're paying, it doesn't matter, you want a favor from someone. So it's better to be polite with quería. Para comer, yo quería. Para beber, yo quería. No puedo tomar. Tengo alergia a. La cuenta, por favor. And the last list of words. Ir, el billete, el boleto. So you use el billete for the bus ticket, for instance, in Spain, and el boleto if you are in Latin America. El billete de ida, el billete de ida y vuelta. El bus, el metro, el tren, el taxi, la parada de bus, la estación, el aeropuerto, el centro de la ciudad. So, let's see. ¿Cuánto cuesta un billete de ida a? If you're asking about the price of something, anything, you just ask ¿cuánto cuesta? Okay? And you also have yo quería un billete de ida y vuelta a. ¿Dónde hay una parada de bus? ¿Dónde está la estación? ¿Me puede llevar al aeropuerto? ¿Cómo puedo ir al centro? ¿Este bus va al aeropuerto? ¿Qué tren va al centro? Okay, I know it's a lot of information, so take your time, do the exercises, and at the end of this material, you will find the summary. So you see all the phrases that we saw, everything together. Okay, so you can be ready for your trip. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and well, you have material to keep on learning if you want to. So thank you very, very much for your time, and well, gracias y chao.